Alright, what is going on, everyone? And welcome to episode 13 of my Beginner's Guide to Success in ESO. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Undaunted skill line. Now, arguably, this might be one of the hardest to level up. Well, not really hard to level up, but very time-consuming. Simply because you can only do so much per day. And the way you get each, where you get Undaunted skill XP is by doing daily pledges. So I'll show you a spot where you should look for them. We're going to go over all the skills, and we're going to go over what everything does and the passives, so hopefully you get a general idea of what everything does. So essentially, you know, this might Undaunted, you could start getting them at any level, but primarily the highest point is you're going to be getting them starting your veteran ranks. And yeah, so this is the area you should be looking for, the Undaunted zone. There would be a guy like around here, and two people you should be looking for, one for the silver pledge and one for the gold pledge. And you get like keys for rewards and all that stuff and get Undaunted items. So okay, what we're going to be doing now is going over all the skills. I left them all unmorphed except for this one because I was actually using that one. But Blood Altar is a pretty useless skill. You make a fountain. Actually, for the most part, I'm just going to put them all on just to show you what they look like. And yeah, and then we'll go over every single skill. So first of all, our Blood Altar. You create a fountain, and it increases your recovery of health by 20%, and allies can also activate a synergy to heal themselves for 40%. Now this effect, or this skill, is very useless. No one ever uses it unless you're like trolling people, because one, the cast time takes forever, and two, for the most part, if you're using this, you're not going to be standing in the small circle. So the morphs of this are Sanguine Altar and Overflowing Altar. One, the synergy heals for more, or the increased duration. If you were to actually use this, which I would highly advise not doing so, you would go for duration because the cast time is so long anyway. That one is just the obvious better pick. So yeah, don't use this ability. It's not good. I'm not gonna lie, most of these abilities aren't that good, but the passives are the reason why you want to level up your Undaunted. Alright, so trapping webs. It's really what it sounds like it does. Where you trap your enemies in a web and you do magic damage and reducing their movement speed for 8 seconds. And also, allies can activate a synergy, and it does damage and summons 2 spiders for 15 seconds. So the morphs of this are Shadow Silk and Tangling Webs. The Shadow Silk ability is by far the superior one, just because the spiders last longer and you have ability to do poison damage over time. So in total, you would be doing more DPS with this ability. And if you do this one, the only time you would get the effect is if your teammate activates the synergy, which fears the enemy. And for the most part, if you're going to be playing in a group, your teammates are probably going to have a fear ability. So generally, you want to be doing more DPS with this, so the Shadow Silk is better. Alright, so Inner Rage is another just magic damage, and it fears them for the most part, or like taunts them. So what it would do is just taunt them to attack you, and yeah, it's pretty good. That's the pre-morph of it is essentially the same thing, but less damage. Alright, Bone Shield. It looks cool, but for the most part, it's not. What you do is give yourself a shield of bones, and it absorbs physical damage only, and of your max health. So if you're like a tank, this one might be solid, but if your health pool is low, then it's probably not going to be. And of course, all of these have a synergy, so your allies can activate them as well. And equal to 60% of their health and last 10 seconds when they activate it, so it's like giving them a shield as well. So the morphs of that, oh my god, what just happened? The morphs of that is reflecting damage to melee attackers, or increases healing. So the Spike Bone Shield is just the better one because it reflects damage, and the other one is when you or your teammates activate a synergy, increases their healing. But once again, if you're playing in a group, you're most likely going to have a healer, or everyone is going to have their own self heals or potions. So Spike Bone Shield is better, and this is what it looks like. It looks cool. That's pretty much it. So the only one at this point I would be using is Inner Rage because it's your taunt ability. Alright, so Necktronic Orb. This one is a very unique skill. Some people use it, some people don't. It's very up to you. What it does is it like summons a globe that dealing magic damage. You've seen it from the enemies in the game if you do a lot of questing. It just summons a globe that floats to them, and it does a lot of damage. And of course, the synergy effect is causing the orb to explode, dealing more damage. So the morphs of this are Energy Orb and Mystic Orb. Most people are going to choose Mystic Orb simply because it recovers magic when you use it, and it explodes. And for the most part, people will be ignoring it, and you're just going to get free magic. And this one, instead of healing, it damages enemies. Once again, not that good because you are most likely going to be DPSing while you're doing that. So it's just more, but you'd rather have more resources in general. So this is what it looks like if you have it. You just toss balls of stuff. It actually looks really cool, but is it really that good? Not really. And you can only have 3 at the same time. It just goes on. So with all the active abilities covered, I would say the best one to use is Inner Rage, and then Mystic Orb is very questionable. But the most important ones you're going to want are the passives. Now, the reason why is when they activate a synergy, it doesn't even have to be like with these abilities, like any class synergy. You recover resources like all health, stamina, and magic. So you're going to want to max this out, and 4% of their thing. So if they're like a tank or something, it's generally good. Plus, if you're playing in a group of like 6 people, if you activate 6 synergies, you're pretty much recovering yourself a lot. And then this is the most important one. It's also one of the hardest ones to get. Is for every like different piece of armor you have, you gain an additional % or 2% of health, magicka, and stamina. So it's building up your resource pool a little bit higher. And it's a passive, so literally anyone can get it. So that was the good part about it. I'm glad they had this, but it's really hard to get. Okay, so every level or every Undaunted level is 200 XP. And it may not seem like a lot, but you have to do all the pledges and dailies pretty much every day. And the max you would be getting daily is about 30, I think. 30 or 40 XP. So that's the reason why it takes a really long time to level up, just because you can only do so much every day, and you actually have to get the gold key and the silver key, and you only get about 30 or 40 XP every day. So it takes at least a month to max it out, assuming you play every day. But the pledges are actually kind of fun, so don't really worry about stressing for it. 1% is not that much, 1 or 2%, but if you're going like really late game and you want to min-max all the best abilities and health, you're gonna get this eventually. But yeah, you get like shoulders and helmets. Like you get 2-piece sets, which are some of the best in the game right now. So you get rewards for doing them. So it's just kind of a bonus, even though you don't get that much XP. And yeah, I hope this covered some Undaunted questions, how to get it, what everything does, and why you should get it. So with that said, I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out more guides, you can click the annotation at the bottom left of the screen. It'll lead you to my playlist of everything I've done. And if you can't do that or you're watching mobile, feel free to check the link in the description. It will lead you to the exact same place as well. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. Hope you learned something.